I'm 24, making $125,000 as a software engineer in New York City, and today I'm breaking down every single dollar I earn and spend. We're talking about rent splitting with my girlfriend, subway costs, and the reality of grocery bills in Manhattan, and why I still have over $1,100 left each month, even after maxing out retirement contributions. If you ever wondered what it actually costs to live in New York City while trying to build your wealth, here's the complete transparent breakdown. Let me start with my income side because understanding take-home pay is crucial for any budget analysis. My gross salary is $125,000, but after taxes, health insurance, and other deductions, I'm bringing home about $6,630 per month on average. Well, technically it's $3,060 bi-weekly, but since there's 26 pay periods in a year, the math kind of works out to $6,630 monthly, but realistically it feels more like $6,120 monthly because most months only have 2 paychecks and only twice a year you get a third paycheck. Let's get the biggest item out of the way. Rent. Housing for me costs $1,226 per month. And before anyone says that's surprisingly low for New York City, let me explain the situation. I live with 3 other people total. My girlfriend and I share the smallest room, while my friend who owns the apartment splits the master bedroom with his girlfriend. Since my friend and I are the highest earners in our respective relationships, we obviously pay the most. You could argue I'm overpaying compared to a traditional roommate split, but my friend bought the place, renovated it, put down the down payment, and honestly, this is what he is charging for the room anyways when he rents it out, and what he did rent it out before I even moved in. The arrangement works because I'm not tied to a lease, don't have to deal with a traditional landlord, and it's still significantly below market rate for me and my girlfriend combined. Market rate for a similar space could easily be $2,000 per month, so even though it's not a perfect deal, it's fair given the circumstances. For example, the room size that we are currently in is actually 9 by 11, which is incredibly small, but to be honest, all we need is a desk, a bed, a closet for our clothes, which we do have. And we do have a bedstand with extra storage space beneath it, so there is pretty much a good amount of room for the clothes. And transportation for a OMNY card and maxing out your rides for the month is about $147 monthly. This covers the subway and bus and access to the entire city, which is kind of a good deal looking at New Jersey because I was paying car insurance, my car payment, gas, tolls, and car insurance, and potentially parking if your area does charge that, but mine didn't. And I still actually do have my car, but my mother is using it. So I randomly get $25 to $50 Easy Pass charges a month here and there when she does drive it. But that's inconsistent, so I don't really directly charge it onto my budget sheet. And since my phone is paid off, my phone bill is about $70 for unlimited monthly data. Now here's the food reality. Food costs me about $900 per month, but this is also counting date nights, groceries at home, and also eating out occasionally. This is probably going to have to be lowered down in my personal opinion, but as of right now, that's about how much I spend. I know this sounds ridiculous, but in New Jersey, I was only spending about 100 to 120 per week, but groceries here are ridiculously expensive, and so is eating out. And obviously being in the city, you're going to eat out more just naturally, just because there's so many options in restaurants around you. And if you want to know the breakdown, it's about $30 per day. My girlfriend and I sometimes do split meals or grocery costs, but this is just the high end of the amount I spend each month. I would probably say on an average month, I probably spend a little bit below that, but not by much. And before you ask, could I spend less on food? Absolutely. But this allows for convenience, social eating without being reckless with the cost, and also allows for a lot of convenience. Now here's the part you probably want to hear the most, especially from a wealth building perspective. I'm putting about $583 a month into my Roth IRA, which is basically maxing it out every year. I count this as an expense because it's pretty much paying my future self first and money that I do not touch. Another $1,385 goes into stock investments bi-weekly. This isn't automatically invested though. I do keep about $10,000 liquid at all times, deploy the rest strategically. Right now, since the markets are at all-time highs, I'm sitting on more cash than usual and waiting for more opportunities to buy. One strategy I have been wanting to try out is buying around the 200-day moving average before deploying larger amounts. This is a strategy I'll probably go over in a later video. But between retirement and taxable investments, I'm putting about $1,968 monthly towards building wealth, which represents about 30% of my take-home pay. My gym membership is roughly $25 per month, which I did pay in full though, just to get a little bit of a discount because normally it would be like $38 a month, which is actually a great deal for New York City. I do prioritize my fitness, so this is kind of an essential for me. Entertainment and event costs, or going out money if you want to call it that, is about $353 a month. This could include drinking socially, doing an activity, sometimes getting food even falls in this category, mainly social activities in general. And another $440 a month does go into my vacation savings. Travel is going to be a priority for me because I've only ever been out of the country once, and that was 18 years ago. And I've been to about like 13 other states, I believe. For example, next year I do have a big trip planned, which is me and my girlfriend going to Thailand. And this is actually a huge thing for the channel because we're going to be seeing if it's actually a viable spot where we want to retire early in. The reason I do put the money aside now for vacations, though, is so I don't have a big cost just bearing on me and killing my emergency savings, since I do only keep 10,000 liquid total at all times. And laundry costs me about $80 a month, which is kind of like a hidden cost of living in a city. There's no in-unit washer or dryer in my unit, so those fees kind of do add up pretty quickly. After all fixed expenses and planned investments, I have about $1,183 left over each month. But this isn't discretionary spending money. It's kind of a buffer for unexpected expenses, gifts, spontaneous opportunities, or just general life unpredictability. This buffer also covers the irregular expenses like the Easy Pass charges from my mom borrowing my car, or occasionally going on the Metro North, or just grabbing an Uber, or even household items that do need replacing, or clothing purchases, tech purchases if I want to. But having over $1,000 monthly in allocated money provides nice psychological peace of mind and financial flexibility that's crucial when living in a really expensive city with a lot of variable costs. Also, another thing I do spend money on that I totally forgot to include is actually Claude Pro. It's a nice AI assistant for personal projects or anything I pretty much need general assistance with. I do pay $8 a month for YouTube Premium because I do consume a lot of educational content. I like to watch YouTube videos on my free time, and ads are absolutely treacherous on this app now. And also $15 a month for website hosting for potential future projects, which I kind of do have one planned for this channel. I just don't know if it's actually going to happen. This might seem like unnecessary expenses, but they're kind of investments into my productivity that support either my current job or a future potential client, or building future income diversification or a potential side hustle in the future. And another thing I did want to talk about is actually living with my girlfriend, because it does create both a savings and some cost implications. We're splitting housing costs, some food expenses, and occasionally entertainment costs, which reduce my individual burden. However, since she's studying and doesn't earn much, I often cover way more than that 50-50 split you're expecting. For example, she only pays like a couple $100 a month for housing costs. For food, I think she allocates $100. This arrangement does work for now, but it does affect my long-term planning. And we've discussed getting our own place, but that would immediately increase my housing cost to over $2,000 a month, which doesn't make financial sense while she's still in school. Our relationship dynamic around money does require ongoing communication and occasional compromises on spending decisions, but the cost savings are substantial enough to make it worthwhile. A common question from my friends is, why don't I get my own place if I can afford it? And for example, moving from $1,226 per month to $2,500 a month, which is sometimes being conservative, sometimes not for a city like New York City, would cost me an additional $15,288 annually. And invested over 10 years at a 7% return, that difference comes out to about $210,000 in opportunity costs. I know that's very finance bro of me to say, but increasing your housing when you don't technically need it can lead to a lot of wasteful spending. The quality of life improvement from having my own place would be very real, but it would also delay my early retirement goals by years. For now, the financial benefit outweighs the lifestyle upgrade. This might change if my income does grow or some circumstances do shift. And one category that I didn't really talk about is healthcare costs. That is because I am on my parents' insurance, but I only have that for another year because I'm about to be 25 in 1 month. And if I actually didn't have this insurance, my medicine would actually cost me $12,000 per month, which, yes, sounds absolutely insane, but that is how much my insurance pays on their end for my medicine, and it's crazy. I honestly don't know how I'm going to navigate that after, or if my job's insurance will even cover any of that, or will cover that in general, because right now I have very, very good insurance from my parents. But in a year from now, when I have to switch to my employer's insurance, it's going to go up substantially. So we'll have to figure that out as it comes. Now, everything I covered in this video also assumes my current income level. So if I do get a bonus or a raise, This would obviously be added to one of these categories, which would probably be either your savings, another vacation, surprise trip or something, or I would invest it back in a potential side hustle because I do want to get into income diversification. Because if I can increase my income by 20 to 30K annually over the next few years while maintaining a similar expense ratio, it will dramatically improve my early retirement timeline. And this budget doesn't include any side income because right now I don't make any. So this could provide significant acceleration towards financial independence if I can get a hold of that. And if you do care about national averages, my housing cost is about 18% of my take-home pay, which is extremely low for NYC and extremely low even nationally. And I also do have a significantly higher savings rate than the average person. This overall budget plan, though, does demonstrate that it is possible to build wealth in expensive cities as long as you have strategic planning on your side. And also, I guess, some sort of luck, because I did get lucky that my friend did buy an apartment with an extra room. I would say my spending plan does give me a good quality of life in New York City while trying to build substantial wealth towards early retirement. The 1968 monthly invested should significantly grow my portfolio value over the next 10 years if I can maintain that. More importantly, the budget does provide a lot of flexibility and opportunity and even covers uncertainty. Looking ahead, the main optimization opportunities are increase in income rather than cutting my expenses. My fixed costs are reasonable for New York City and I want to kind of keep it that way. Building side income streams is going to become a massive priority for accelerating my wealth building. And in my next video, I'm going to be breaking down my specific plan for building those additional income streams and why they're important for optimizing this budget even further. And the total monthly calculation is the monthly income of $6,630. My total allocated expenses is $6,652. This is because the miscalculation earlier with my investments, it's actually bi-weekly, not monthly, that $1,300 amount. So that actually leaves me with a negative $22 after all expenses, investments, and everything. But also I didn't count in my girlfriend contributing to rent, which she usually does throw in a few $100s here and there. It's usually around $200 to $400 depending on the month. So overall, we still are at a surplus, just not a massive one like I said earlier. And yes, those fixed investments are in that expense category. I hope this video did provide some insights, provided some value to some of you, or just filled a curiosity gap that some of you guys were holding. This is me being completely transparent. I will answer any questions you guys have in the comment section or in my next videos. So keep them coming in the comments. And thank you for everybody who has been supporting the channel recently. You guys have been absolutely awesome and amazing. And I really can't appreciate it enough. And I will see you all in the next one. Peace.